think he's gonna let me go.
His zero wind takeoff, that was crazy. I definitely felt it isolating from right to left. Whew, and I'm out of breath. My house is just down there in that neighborhood. I got my new strobe set up. I don't know if you can see that. But there's so much general aviation flying around, including that guy and that guy, that I felt like just some kind of strobe would help keep people more aware of a piece of fabric flying around. Air Force Base McGuire is to our north, so we'll stay away from there. You can see the Philadelphia skyline is just southwest there. So what I'd like to do is see if I have enough gas to go to the Delaware River. I don't think I need to be this high. You know, there's a happy medium from being too high where the airplanes fly and too low where you've got power lines and towers. So about 200-300 feet should keep you safe most of the time. So this is Allen's Airfield. There's a small museum there. Great group of guys fly out of here. One thing I wanted to talk today was just some encouraging words about being successful as a Christian. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day just about how in sports it's so black and white what you need to do to win. You have to score so many points, or you have to do better than the other team. You have to make a basket or score a goal, and there's timeouts and borders and lines and rules. And if you mess up and you lose, well, there's always next year, or there's always the next game. And I think we might lose that in the idea of being a Christian, because when is it over? When is the current game over and the next game begin? If a church service, if a worship service doesn't go very well, what's the penalty? How do you know if you won or lose or won? I think there's some gray there, and at times we can find ourselves on the bench not really participating as much as we should. And it's this kind of attitude I wanted to address. Just what are some ways that you can be successful in your congregation, in your church? I think there's 4 keys to be successful, and the first one is to get involved right off the bat. There's always something you can be doing. There's always something. If you're thinking about complaining about something, that might be the ministry that you can be involved in to help make it better. Whether it's a bulletin that could be done a little bit better, or a young people's class that could encourage them in a certain area. Before I complain about the grass being too long or too tall, I might think about, what can I do to help out? I don't think anything quite says I love you than your willingness to serve somebody or something. And if you get plugged into a congregation where your attitude is like, use me, what can I do to help? I think they're definitely going to feel your love and really feel valued and feel like you're trying to make an effort. And it's that kind of love and camaraderie that grows. You just can't help but want to be around people who love each other. The second thing is you got to fix your eyes on Jesus and not on people. People will fail you. It's going to happen. There's just no way to be perfect, and people are going to fall. But if you focus on Jesus and you study and you keep in the Word, you're going to find that His love is sustainable, that He's not going to forget about you. He's not going to fail you. He'll be there to forgive you, to love you, to care for you, comfort you. And He has given us His word to light the path and how we should act and behave and the things that we should do. All right, I'm going to fly around here a little bit and enjoy the river. Going sailing is on my bucket list. This looks like some kind of abandoned warehouse. Looks like a very old building too, just the way the bricks are laid. That'd be really cool to kind of explore a little bit. Wonder what they made there once upon a time. All right, I'm going for it. What's up, Mr. Boatman? Yes! Let's go! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! The third key to be successful, I think, is to be a blessing and not to be dead weight, right? And you know those bicycles that are built for two, and sometimes you kind of get tired and you're looking at the other guy, he's just sitting there, he's not even pedaling, and you're like, come on, man, you need to start pedaling too. I think it's important that if you're part of a congregation, all hands are on deck when it comes to working. You know, pick up the slack, find areas that could use a little bit of work and go to work, because we all need to be pedaling. There's always going to be the complainers and the people that drag you down. And you definitely don't want to be that person that not only does not encourage people, but also starts to keep people from working at their optimum. So it's almost better if you don't go than if you go and you're just a drag all the time. And it may be kind of mean to say that, but I think just like in sports, you know, you know who's the weak link. You can look at the tapes and you know, hey dude, we were playing football and your guy ran by you because you weren't playing defense very well. So you have that black and white. But with the church, you don't necessarily have that black and white. So it's tough to kind of look around and say, hey, you're not pulling your weight, you got to do more. And you definitely don't want to kick people off the team. So what do? Well, it starts with the person. The person has to decide to love the congregation, to find ways to serve. If you're that person, I encourage you, what are some ways for you to step up, serve, pedal, and not be dead weight? I think the last thing for the key to be successful in your church is just to be involved. Just share your life. Have people over. Visit them. You know, anytime someone new comes to the congregation, it's so important to go out to eat with them or invite them to your home to eat. There's something about having someone in your home that solidifies your relationship and your friendship. You know them, you know where they live, you know all about them, you've seen their family on their pictures on the wall, and that's so important to connect with the fellowship of believers, because if you fail to connect, you're going to miss out on so many wonderful relationships that will grow through the years. I know of a Filipino missionary who came over to the States and visited, and I hadn't seen him in about 20 years, and we picked up right where we left off, just visiting with each other. You can travel to places you've never even been to, connect with a church there, and they'll care for you. I was going snowboarding in Lake Tahoe one time, and in Northern California, I went to a congregation just during a Wednesday night service, and I told them I was looking for a place to stay, that I had looked into hostels, but I wanted to see what else is available. And one of the members said, you can just come stay with us for a few days. And they help provide meals, and there was a relationship that I never would have had otherwise. So I encourage you, wherever you are, get plugged into a congregation and start developing those friendships that will last a long, long time. Thanks for joining in, guys, for some spiritual inspiration from the skies. I appreciate your support for my channel. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video. And remember, get involved in your local community. I think you'll find that if you do what you don't want to do, if you just go ahead and do it, you'll find the what will come later, that you'll actually enjoy it after the fact. So don't make your decision based on if you want to or not. Do what you know is right, and eventually you'll appreciate making the right decision.